Cool. There we go. Okay, so how to red mage. Half melee, half magic. The magic part of it will always start with jolt. Or yeah, okay. Best way to go about this is that jolt is going to be the best way to start about it. You will be able to see in the cast time displayed that it says 1.91 seconds, recast of 2.39 seconds. The reason for this is the way this class works is that you will hard cast the first spell. Okay, so you're going to sit there, you're going to cast the entire first spell. The second spell, by the effect of dual cast here, grants the effect of dual cast upon casting any spell with a cast time. While under the effect of dual cast, your next spell will require no cast time. Effect is cancelled upon execution of neither action, of any action of any other ability. No attacks do not cancel the effect. So, dual, like the reason why red mage is seen as much more of a mobile, it'll seem much more like a stop and go kind of class. As far as like your movement goes, but if we go cast Jolt, which has the 1.91 second cast time, I get dual cast. Then we have Verthunder, which is now changed to instant cast. Now then, if I were to try to cast Verthunder alone, for example, actually Verthunder and yeah, so Verthunder and Verarrow. Okay, cool. So Verthunder and Verarrow, they both have basically a 5-second cast time. Alright? They have a 5-second cast time. So if you sit there, you're going to be sitting there all day just trying to cast that one spell. Alright? You don't want to do that. If you do that, like sure, you'll get the dual cast off, but the way you keep the class going is you go with Jolt into either Thunder or Arrow, and back into Jolt, and so forth and so forth. And basically, the other thing too is that the whole way they decided to design the spells is based off of the black and white magic. Not only just from like black and white magic alone, because it'll tell you, yeah, like Arrow increases white mana, so that's a white magic. Verarrow 2 is also white magic. Verstone is also your other white magic. So there are 3 white magic spells. And then you have Thunder, Fire, and where's the other one? I'm missing the other one. I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Thunder 2. So 3 black magic spells. Alright. If you have leveled up Black Mage, you will actually recognize that there are spells here. So you have Thunder and Fire. These are black magic spells. And then Flare as well, but we'll get to that a little later. If you have leveled up White Mage, don't mind my glamour. Lol. I'm just gonna, yeah. Anyways, if you have leveled up White Mage, you have Stone and Arrow. And then you also have, where are you? Holy, which we'll get to that one a little later. So, if you are familiar with the 2 classes of Black and White Mage, then, yeah, you'll be able to go ahead and, recognize, okay, I know my, my white and black magic. The red magic, which is Jolt and Scatter, for example, I know that's impact, but like, yeah. So basically, Jolt and Scatter, those are your red magics. These increase both black and white magic, but only by a little bit. So, in essence, you'll want to use the spells that have the shortest cast time. And then, after that, you have an instant cast, which allows you to instant cast the long cast times. So, you'd basically start with Jolt, go into for Thunder, for example. You can choose whichever one you want, then go back to Jolt, for Arrow, and then just kind of go from there. As you level up, you will get things like verse stone, and if you notice, all of the spells with the ver, it's literally just fire, stone, arrow. It's literally just ver, which means red, and I think French, I think it is. But yeah, you get a chance to use ver stone or ver fire after using arrow or thunder, which is honestly kind of cool, because then you can basically keep up the DPS a little more. With Jolt, potency of 180. With Fire and Stone, it's a potency of 310. So, as you level up, you will get for Fire and, or like if you're using, if you're in higher end content, not just leveling up, but if you're in at least like level, as you can see here, level 30 content, you will actually be able to just freely go, let me just, like, Jolt into Thunder, you have Fire here at the bottom. So from Fire into Arrow, and then from Stone back into Thunder. So basically you want to keep alternating between black magic and white magic. Always, and if you run out of cast, go back into Jolt. But keep alternating between, so you have your white magic and black magic. I would recommend, as far as a hotbar setup, to ensure that you have maybe black magic on one side, white magic on the other side, you know, which is kind of what I have here going on my hotbar, and then with Jolt on its own thing. Now then, as far as what the AoE spells are like, it's kind of reversed. The AoE spells are reversed. You will see here that Scatter, the red magic, is actually the 5-second cast instead of your normal cast time. So, what you do with the AoE instead is you use the Elemental first and then go into red magic. So you use Elemental, then Scatter, and then the other one and Scatter. So you'd be using, in this instance, for Arrow into Scatter, and then for Thunder into Scatter, but make sure it's for Thunder 2, alright? So you have regular for Thunder, and then you have for Thunder 2. You have regular for Arrow, and for Arrow 2. The 2 is the AoE, okay? Now then, the whole thing with the bar and keeping intact with this whole thing is when you have both white and black magic shot up to at least 80, you can start your melee combo. So you start with Corpse to Corpse. Rushes target and delivers an attack potency of 130. This is your gap closer. You use Corpse to Corpse and you will immediately go in. From there, you have Riposte, Zwerschau, and Redoublement. These are your 3 in order. Like, this is your, literally tells you here, action upgraded, combo action Riposte or enchanted Riposte. Redoublement, combo action Zwerschau or enchanted Zwerschau. So, that literally means 1, it now has a shiny. 2, it still has a shiny into the third one. 3rd shiny. From there, you can go ahead and yeet yourself out with Displacement, which is literally just a way to back away. From when you level up higher, it's literally, you will see here, what's it called? Verflare and Verholy, so level 68, level 70. Once you do your 3-part combo, you will actually be your Ver Arrow and Ver Thunder will change. It will change into, well, Ver Thunder will change into Verflare, Verholy will, Ver Arrow will change into Verholy. What that does is like a sort of combo finisher. So here, let me go ahead and show you what I mean here. So we're talking about doing this. Let's get these bars up to 80. Alright, cool. So, you go Corpse Core. 1, 2, 3, back out. You notice here, I have Flare. At level 80, you get an even stronger combo finisher, which is Scorch. And that's basically the essence of that. You will notice by the end of it here, hang on. Here's the current distance on cooldown, moving into melee as soon as you come at 80. Well, I mean, yes and no. I would say, like, the best way to go about it is, without really optimizing it or anything like that, go ahead and save, Corpse Core and, Corpse Core for whenever you have your 80-80, and then Displacement to back out. So you go Corpse Core, 1, 2, 3 melee, and then back out with, Displacement. That way, you know, you get out of there in time and such, and you can continue casting from there on. But yeah, you will be able to see here, Verholy, combo action Enchanted Redoublement. Alright, so that means you need to have your 80-80 going in order to be able to cast, or even have the chance to cast Verholy. Let's see. Chance to become Verstone ready increases to 100% when black mana is higher than white mana. So, the way Verflare and Verholy are going to go about it is the way you choose which one you use is dependent on which one is lower. If they're both the same, you can pretty much use whichever. But if one is lower than the other, you kind of want to use the magic that is lower, because not only does it give an absurdly high amount of mana into that point, because it gives you 21. Because if you notice here, I now have 42 in this. These were both the same, so I now have 42 here, but my white magic is now at 21. So if, like, I would need to make sure, I need to make sure that, like, these don't go too far ahead of one another. Like, you want to try to keep them as balanced as possible. If the gap was, I think it was like 40 or 30 or something. I think it's 40. Maybe 30. No, I think it's 30. 30? Okay, thank you, Gecko. Yeah, so if you have a gap of, I think it's about 30. Yeah, if you have a gap of 30, well, you'll see here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and look. With a gap of 32, yeah, so 30. If you have a gap of 30, this little crystal will turn blue. This basically is going to warn you, hey, you've become imbalanced. Meaning, it's actually going to be harder to try to rebalance. So what usually would give me 7, gave me, what, 4? Or like 3, something like that, into white magic. Until finally, it's back to normal. But, yeah, if you have it, like, if you keep going with just one element the whole time, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. Like, so if you have 101, you can't just be like, okay, I'll just do this. That gave literally nothing. So that's 1, and then 5. 1 point, and then 5 points. That hurts a lot. You're gonna want to make sure, that's why it's important to alternate between your black and white magic. So that way you don't fall behind between the two. But yeah, cool. Cool thing is, when it's red, that basically means you're ready. You have your 80-80. And then even the sound cue will pop up saying, hey, you have this ready. So when it's ready, what do? You go in, let's go 1, 2, 3, back out. And then, because I have white magic is lower, I'll use Verholy. And then because I've used Verholy, I'm going to Scorch. So yeah, that's essentially how one uses Red Mage. You will get a lot of OGCDs and stuff like that. Eventually, a lot of like quality of life things and stuff like that. So emboldened to increase damage, benefaction to double your current mana points, things like that. But it's important to just kind of keep an eye on, like making sure that like you're going, okay, white magic, black magic, white magic, black magic, or black magic, white magic, black magic, white magic. It doesn't matter which one you start with. That's personal preference. All that matters is that you keep the balance, you know, and just keep alternating between the two. And yeah, that's like literally it for like red mage. Just like from that, because other than that, like the AoE, it's literally, you can feel free to go ahead and just continue spamming that the AoE. Do note that the AoE will actually consume more MP than the single targets spells. As that progresses, you will notice also that it'll become actually a little slower to increase this. As far as what you can do for an AoE at the moment for Red Mage, you will be given at level 52 a spell called Moulinet, which is upgraded to Enchanted Moulinet if both black and white magic are at minimum like 20 points. Or higher. It'll basically just use it'll basically be under like the same pretense of like what to do. You don't need to be at 80 because there's no like combo or anything like that. So you can literally go ahead and just go into AoE, into Moulinet 1, Moulinet 2, Moulinet 3, and then back out, and then you can go ahead and continue casting thereafter. Cool thing is, you will see here, 1, 2, within this time, because I insta-casted the second spell, I can actually move, and also OGCD. I can do one thing and another. I can just feel free to be like, stop to cast, move whenever you're ready, and then stop to cast, and then move while everything is instant, and stop to cast. So that's what we mean, like a stop and go kind of motion for this. Other than that, I think that's like about it. I guess a couple other things to note is that you get Vercure, so you will get a healing spell as a red mage. This healing spell actually does scale off of intelligence instead of mind. So you can actually heal yourself for a pretty substantial amount. If you see there, by 17,000, 17,000. Like, that's... Yeah, you can heal yourself by a fairly substantial amount if you use Vercure. That being said, because of the way the dual cast trait works, we have a Veraze. Veraze has a freaking 10-second cast time. However, you can instantly cast. There's a reason why the red mage is nicknamed the Res Mage. If you cast Jolt or Vercure or Verstone or Verfire or whatever, if you hard cast one of your spells, you can chain Veraze to instantly raise whoever you want. If someone dies, you can go like Jolt, raise, or if you're hurt and someone else is dead, Vercure, raise. And you can keep like spamming this out until you're out of MP. So this is very much a like, it'll help out healers, it'll help out like teams and stuff like that. It can help out in a lot of really clutch situations. Do note though, Veraze, as you can see here, is available at level 64. Vercure is available at level 54. So curing others is a Heavensward thing. Raising others is a Stormblood thing. Anything prior to, you will not be able to do. However, you will have access to your AoE. You will have access to your 1, 2, 3 for like your melee combo, and you will have access to all of your single target spells. The only thing you just won't have until afterwards is your combo finishing spells for Holy and for Flare and Verholy, and Scorch, which is Shadow Mage thing. Yeah, that's literally it. Everything else you kind of come as you go. Like, feel free to go ahead and read the Embolden, the Manufaction, and Acceleration. I guess a little like note of like how acceleration works. It's literally if you yeah, it says ensures the next 3 casts of Ver Thunder, Ver Flare, or Ver Arrow, Ver Holy will for their first hits trigger Ver Fire and Ver Stone. In other words, if you for the next 3 casts of not the next 3 spells, but for the next 3 casts of specifically for Arrow, for Thunder, or the alterations thereof. For the next 3 casts of those, they will give you Ver Fire or Ver Stone respectively, with 100% certainty. So yeah, yeah, that's it for Red Mage though. I do hope this helps. Yeah, I didn't go into any sort of like, I'm not gonna go into any sort of like nitty-gritty or like proper rotations and stuff without proper openers, but yeah, that's how Red Mage works.